Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, hear about a program that gives students a one-year career and education boost. And Phoenix is moving up in a new report on tech talent. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The Republican National Convention continues in Cleveland despite the absence of a number of GOP lawmakers. Indeed, Representative Trent Franks is one of the few from Arizona's congressional delegation to even attend the event.
It's a busy time. A lot of other members of the House of Representatives just come. I don't know which ones were here when. I just came in last night myself, so I was late. I was coming from London, and I wanted to come here because I believe that this is probably the most important election in my lifetime.
The convention wraps up tomorrow night with a speech from presidential nominee Donald Trump. Arizona Horizon will have special live analysis of the convention and Trump's speech at 10 o'clock tomorrow night with local political consultants here in studio and live from Cleveland. And federal officials have assured Arizona Senator Jeff Flake that Colorado River water currently being saved by Arizona will not wind up in California or anywhere else. Arizona is banking some of its allocated water from the Colorado River to guard against future shortages. Under previous agreements and court rulings, California could lay claim to any unused water, but today, Senator Flake released a letter from the head of the Interior Department saying that the feds, quote, will not unilaterally release such apportioned but unused water for consumptive use in another lower basin state without the consensus of all three lower basin states. In a written statement, Flake said that, quote, Arizona can now rest assured that no other state will get its hands on water we have saved in Lake Mead. It's a big win for Arizona in the combined effort to combat the drought, prevent water shortage, and ensure continued access to our share of the Colorado River. Now, without assurances from the federal government, Arizona might have reconsidered how much water to keep storing in aquifers and in Lake Mead. Tonight's edition of Arizona Education looks at how Arizona has one of the highest rates of disconnected youth in the country. These are young people who are either unemployed or out of school and essentially doing nothing. A program at Gateway Community College is giving these kids a hand. Producer Elisa Adams found out that the program is a win for area employers and young adults looking for high-paying careers.
In this computer programming class at Gateway Community College, it's not enough just to plug in the code. You've got to look sharp doing it.
I never wore a tie and dressing like this to school, never have I ever done that.
Abdweli Noor soon discovered that if he wanted to be part of Year Up Arizona, he had to look the part.
When at first I came to Year Up, I had to learn that I had to wear a tie every day. I had to show up clean every day. I had to show up happy. I had to feel like I was engaged at Year Up.
Year Up is an intensive training program for young adults. No slackers allowed, because this college program isn't just about classwork.
The program is designed for careers, to help young adults who may not have the opportunity launch into their careers. We do that by listening to employers and finding out the skills that they need and those jobs that they have in demand. We find young adults that have the talent but lack the opportunity, and we bring the two together through a program like Year Up.
Students spend the first 6 months of the year-long program in the classroom, but a lot of what they learn isn't on a computer screen.
How was Jane, though?
Yeah. Soft skills like how to talk to coworkers, how to answer emails, and write a resume are just as important.
At Year Up, you gotta shake hands, and it's not like a handshake, just like a regular handshake, like a very casual handshake where eye to eye, which is very hard for sometimes. At first for me it was hard for me to shake hands and look at people directly in the eyes.
What we say is we hire for skills, but we're fired for behaviors. We address some of those behaviors that might not land us in the path that we want to head, and we try to head those off.
And once they know how to build a personal network, students learn how to build an actual network. They get 3 hours of technical skills training every day in cybersecurity, business operations, or Java programming.
We look for the high growth jobs that will be sustainable and offer opportunity at an accelerating pace here in Phoenix.
That also means high pay, with average wages for first-year graduates at $35,000 a year. The promise of a job is what made Lupe Perez focus on Java coding.
They said if you try something new and something more challenging, like programming, it could lead you into business and other like technical IT and other things you could use.
Perez's attitude is exactly why she's here. Students are heavily screened before they are accepted into the program, and administrators aren't looking at academics.
We're looking for the students that we describe as having grit, those students who really want to be in a program like this and can appreciate you. You get no entitlement. These are students who want the opportunity and will work hard to do it.
Every student is guaranteed a 6-month paid internship during the second half of the program with one of Europe's local corporate partners. Companies like American Express, GoDaddy, and Bank of America invest in Europe for the quality workforce.
Business acumen is higher than the average and typical entry-level hire. Love that feedback. We also hear that they show up on time, they raise their hands, they ask questions, they deeply want to understand, and they deeply want to succeed.
For the past 6 months, I really worked hard.
Noor admits that his first attempt at college wasn't successful.
When I was in college, I was really confused about my plans, my future, and Year Up makes you focus and on the path.
Students get lots of help from mentors and one-on-one guidance from Europe instructors. There are even weekly feedback sessions. But Perez says some of her best motivators are her peers.
We're all here for the same reason, and we all want to succeed, and they're all holding each other accountable to perform to the best of their abilities, I guess you can say.
Just 1 year, surrounded by success, grounded in high expectations. 1 year, and these students are only moving up.
Students can earn up to 30 college credits during the program and get paid a stipend while they go to school. Right now, Arizona has the fastest growing Year Up program in the country. For more, we welcome Randy Moore, Site Director of Higher Education Programs for Year Up Arizona. Welcome to Arizona Horizon.
Thank you, Ted. I
Good.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
this sounds very, very interesting. Add to what we just saw in the package there. What is Year Up Arizona?
Sure. So first, I'll start with Year Up, and I think what's so interesting about it is that we've been around for 16 years. We were founded in Boston, Massachusetts by Gerald Shertavian, and it was really founded on the premise of mentorship. He participated in the Big Brother program and had a little brother who was from the Lower East Side in New York City, and really saw how through mentorship he was able to help the young man whose name is David to really experience different things that he had never experienced. And so when we look at the program as a whole, it was taken a step further to help these young adults who, many of whom come from low income backgrounds, to connect them not only to the academic experience, but also to these internship experiences, which in many cases turn into entry-level employment.
And again, this is for mostly college-age kids, 18 to 24 along
18
those
to
lines,
24.
and preparing them for the mainstream economy. Again, we saw kids. I mean, you don't think about a kid's got to learn how to tie a tie.
Yes.
Got to learn how to get ship shape and get on time and
Yes.
do all those things that lots of times kids don't do.
Yeah. Very important, and I think you heard from Abduwali. So one of the unique features of our program is that each student is assigned a coach. And so a coach could be someone like myself or Kim, our executive director, who kind of talks to them not only about things that are going on in the program, but outside of the program, and able to share with them some of their experiences.
So when you talk about soft skills, again, problem solving and working in teams, how do you teach that?
Great. So it starts with our admissions process. It's a very rigorous process, and we want to see that the students have motivation and they have grit and determination. We start that by basically assessing their skills and seeing what they want to do with in their future if they want a professional career. That's followed by an intense orientation week. So all of our students go through a week-long orientation process where we focus on building community and really building trust with one another, with the staff and faculty that are going to kind of be in their journey throughout that year. And so throughout that process, we gauge what they do academically, kind of where they need that extra support, and also what skills they're going to need specifically for that internship.
But let's say you've got a kid who's pretty good at problem solving, pretty good at working in teams. Time management is a problem. So, I mean, do you run them through exercises? Do you just sit down and say, here's how I do it, here's what you need to do, stop doing that, start doing, how does it work?
So what's interesting is that a traditional college student has their courses, and they may participate in an extracurricular activity or not. With Year Up, in addition to their traditional courses, we layer it with some professional skills training, and they have a really unique course that was based on research. It's called Labs, and it stands for Learning About Being a Successful Student. And so we do activities like a time management wheel, where we have them really map out where they spend most of their time. So if I spend most of my time, 80% playing video games, then I may need to reassess my time management wheel. Another function we look at is what type of learner are you? Am I visual? Am I kinesthetic? Am I multimodal? And really helping them to acquire these skills that they need to be successful.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, what about the kid, though? You want kids with grit, you want kids with determination. What about the kid that may not show much grit right now, may not show much determination, but it's there, you just got to get it out of him or her? What happens there?
That's an excellent question. So our program is based on high support, high expectations. So each student, when they come into the program, they are given a contract and they have a certain amount of points. That contract is tied to the stipend that we heard about. So if that student is not turning in an assignment, if they're coming into school late, they're losing a certain amount of points, which is tied and it hits their wallet, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the great things about that is that it helps them develop those skills and that stamina and endurance that they need in the professional world.
And as far as you're concerned, the coaching, the hands-on skill development, the mentorship, if you will, talk to us about your experience here and what you need to do to connect to some of these kids.
Sure. So I think one of the important things is creating a trusting environment and a safe space. We know many of our students come from backgrounds where they may not have seen a professional from their area or from or who looks like them. And so one of the things that we do, we have a guest speaker series every Friday where we have a professional come in and kind of talk to them a little bit about their background, where they're from, and what it's like to be a professional, and kind of give them those nuggets that they need to be successful.
And I would imagine for some of these kids, it's a real wake-up call, isn't it?
It's a real wake-up call, and it's so great to hear them outside in the hallway and the things they talk about. Hey, I met so-and-so today from American Express or from Arizona Federal Credit Union, and they shared their story with me, and I think I can do it.
Yeah, that's got to be very encouraging. Now, as far as relationship with business partners, I guess the businesses, they get a bit of a pipeline here for entry-level talent, don't they?
Yes, and that's something that's really great. We know that many of them, they have these internships. Some of them may run parallel with other internship programs, but the cool thing about the Year Up program is that we always hear about the soft skills. So one of the things that always comes back is that this intern stands out because they have this extra, they have these skills and they also have the support from Year Up. So we don't just drop them off, but we coach them throughout the time that they're at the internship.
I read that the curriculum can sometimes be tailored to some of these business partners. How does that work? If Ted's, Hamburger Hamlet wants folks that can do certain things, do I just come to you and say, listen, I'm willing to work with you guys, but I need a kid who can do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, so that really speaks to the partnership, and I think that's unique, and what we have in Arizona is partnering with Gateway Community College. And so being able to work with the faculty, explain to them what the partner is looking for, and then looking at the curriculum and seeing how we can kind of infuse some of those skills into the pre-existing curriculum.
Now, are we talking about middle-skilled workers here? I haven't really heard that before. What's a middle-skilled worker?
Sure, it's an interesting term, and so it's basically a job that requires skills that are higher than a high school diploma or GED level, but less than a 4-year degree. So that's why the community college partnership is awesome, because it really aligns with where they are in terms of the program of study.
Okay, how many kids you guys working with so far?
So thus far, we've had 175 that have gone through the program in Arizona, and and 13,000 nationally.
Wow. And do they ever come back and speak to the kids, you know, the current students, and say, look, this is what I went through, and here's what you got to do?
Oh, yes, they do. We have a really robust alumni network. And so all of our students that go through the program, they actually go through an oath, they become a member, and they now belong to a national network, many of whom are now working for corporations. They've gone through and have earned bachelor's, master's degrees.
And for you personally, what got you into this? It has to be a rewarding exercise.
It has. So personally, you know, I come from New York City, have lived in the Bronx and Queens, New York, and, you know, went through an experience where I didn't have many professionals, you know, around me. And so when I saw Year Up and was introduced to it through a volunteer, it was something that I think really hit close to home for me. And when you look at the 12 million jobs that are out there and the 6 million young adults who need this opportunity, it really spoke to me on a personal level as well.
So if this is speaking to someone who owns a business right now and they want to, you know, they want to get involved here, sure, how do they get involved?
Awesome. So our website is yearup.org, and you would go specifically to our Arizona site, and there are different ways to involve. If you'd love to fund an intern, we would love to have you. We would love to start that conversation. If you would like to serve as a guest speaker, a mentor to our students, that's another awesome part of our program, is each of our students has a professional mentor to kind of coach them through. We would love to hear from you. And if you have ideas on how to improve our program quality and how we can help to give back to these young adults, we'd be more than happy to speak with you.
Well, congratulations. It sounds like a very rewarding experience, and thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate it.
I appreciate you inviting me. Thank you.
Get the inside scoop on what's happening at Arizona PBS. Become an insider. You'll receive weekly updates on the most anticipated upcoming programs and events. Get the insider delivered to your email inbox. Visit azpbs.org to sign up today. Expand your horizon with the Arizona Horizon website. To get there, go to azpbs.org. Click on the Arizona Horizon tab at the top of the screen. Once there, you can access many features to help you make a more informed viewer. Watch interviews by clicking on the video button, or scroll down to the bottom of the page for the most recent segments. You can also find out what's on Arizona Horizon for the coming week. If you would like an RSS feed, a podcast, or want to buy a video, that's all on the website too. Want to learn about specific topics like immigration or the legislature? You can visit our special web sections. There's also a page for educators. Show your support for Arizona Horizon at azpbs.org/Arizona Horizon.
Tonight's edition of Arizona Technology and Innovation looks at how Phoenix has jumped 9 spots to number 11 in the nation in a new report on tech talent. Joining us now is Kevin Callahan, Senior Vice President of Advisory and Transaction Services for CBRE, the real estate research firm that put out the report. Welcome to Arizona Horizon.
Thanks for having me.
This is really interesting stuff here, a tech talent scorecard. What is that?
We took 13 metrics about where tech talent is located, what types of jobs are being created, what the wages are for those type of jobs, the cost of living, and basically tried to determine where are the best places to go find technology workers. And fortunately, Arizona scored very high, 11th nationally.
And 11th nationally, jumping up from what, 20th?
Yep, we were
previous?
20th, so we're moving up the list. We're still behind some of the real powerhouses in the tech world, Seattle, San Francisco, Washington, but our growth has been phenomenal.
And again, these are measured by the ability to attract and to grow. Define tech talent. What are we talking about here?
So tech talent is really focused on people who have highly technical jobs, software engineers, software developers, database managers, computer managers, IT directors, really anyone who is in technology development and or software.
And we were number 6 on the top momentum markets. What does that mean?
Well, we've got a great momentum because we have a great story to tell. We have a very affordable technology labor force, and we have a technology labor force that's growing very quickly. So we have a lot of momentum because people, big employers, want to be here chasing our great talent.
We have the momentum, I think 58% tech talent growth since 2010,
Yes.
last 6 years or so. But why would techies come here as opposed to San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Seattle, the biggies?
Sure. Couple reasons. One, and this is a great one, we are the second most affordable when it comes to the salary a tech employee can earn versus what it costs to rent an apartment. So if you're a tech employee and you want a great standard of living, Arizona's a fantastic place. Obviously, we have a favorable business climate. Our proximity to California is a big advantage. San Francisco still by and away leads the country in tech job creation. Some of those companies want to get out of there. It's a very high cost labor market. So Metro Phoenix is really a beneficiary of a lot of those factors.
And yet, Phoenix, 4.8% loss of millennials. What's going on?
Well, that stat's a little skewed. Technology companies tend to cluster, and when they cluster, they prefer urban areas. So that stat focuses just on downtown Phoenix, where we had a net loss in millennials. But if you look valley-wide, we had a net gain of over 11%. Part of that is because downtown Scottsdale and downtown Tempe are such hotbeds for technology, really driving the attraction in our market. And so, although the Phoenix part isn't great, the metro area portion's pretty good.
Okay, so a little cherry picking there as far as
a little cherry pick.
But let's cherry pick again here. As far as brain drain areas, we're right on up there. It sounds as though we're training a lot of folks, but they're getting jobs somewhere else.
Well, we are. Our universities are doing a phenomenal job of putting out talent. We put out over the past 5 years 44,000 really tech-ready workers. We only employed 31,000 of those locally, which means there was 31,000 jobs for them. So we were second in the country in net exporting, only behind the Boston area, which has a great university infrastructure. Right. So the good news is we've got a lot of slack in our employment pool, which means if you're a big employer, you're looking for tech people who are coming out of universities ready to go. Phoenix is the second best place to find them where they can't find a job.
And we should mention that the impact of the technology sector on business in general, huge. Office leasing space, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. One, tech sector workers earn well in advance of 2 times the average wage. And tech companies, these ones who are hiring these real technical people, are accounting for 20% of office leasing nationally. So they are the largest sector of the office leasing market and the fastest growing. So, to be successful in the office real estate business, you really have to know where these technology people are going to be.
If we look at Phoenix, the general area, the Phoenix area, as a success story, it is because?
Great business climate, tons of affordable labor, and a growing labor pool.
So with that in mind, what do we take from this study?
Well, we've got a great story to tell, and I think we need everyone to be out there pushing how great of a place it is to be in Phoenix and Metro Phoenix, and how many employees that we can really put into work if we can get the right employers to come here.
And if you want to address civic leaders, let's say we got a bunch of
Sure.
high and mighty movers and shakers here, big cigars, politically on this set, what would you tell them? What needs to be done?
Well,
not just to get the narrative out there, but to get the numbers into the top 10.
They're doing a great job. So we are moving upwards faster than almost any other metro market. So I would say keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting money into education. ASU is a phenomenal driver of this. They've been a great partner to the business community. So, the story is very positive. it's really keep doing what you've been doing, and let's just all be positive about sharing this message.
Are we seeing, the Sun Corridor from Prescott down to Tucson? Are we seeing that as well as far as technology is concerned, or is the Valley pretty strong?
It's really focused on the Valley, downtown Scottsdale, downtown Tempe, south into Chandler along the 101 are really the dominant players, with downtown Phoenix starting to emerge.
So bottom line is the report is encouraging for the area, but it can always get better.
It's great, and it can get better.
All right. Good to have you
Okay,
here. Thanks
thank
for
you.
joining us.
Appreciate it.
And Thursday on Arizona Horizon, we will have analysis on the Republican National Convention with local political consultants here in studio and live via satellite from Cleveland. A convention wrap-up on the next Arizona Horizon. And a reminder again, if you'd like to watch tonight's program again or see any previous editions of Arizona Horizon, maybe see what we have in store for the future, check us out, azpbs.org/horizon. That's azpbs.org/horizon. That's it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you.
Helios Education Foundation is proud to underwrite Arizona Education, a 12-month series highlighting the issues affecting college and career readiness of our students. Through a decade of strategic partnerships, Helios is working to change lives and strengthen communities through education.
ASU's Ira A. Fulton Schools of Engineering strive to advance research, education, and industry to transform our economy. Ideas, talent, and technology for Arizona. You can learn more at engineering.asu.edu/TV.